wow, it's been 11 years and they still don't fail to make me laugh. But I think it's better to let the franchise die with this one. Hey everyone, it's Movie Lover 120 here, and I'm here with a brand new movie review, and this is going to be for a movie that just came out this week, or is coming out today. But I saw a Thursday night preview of this movie last night. And this was for the fourth, or technically fifth, to be released, or fourth main installment of a comedy franchise I reviewed last week, or a few weeks ago, or whatever, but yeah, this is the fourth main installment of that franchise. And it's, of course, once again for none other than the newest Jackass movie that came out this week, Jackass Forever. So yeah, that's what this review is going to be. And the plot of this movie, well, kind of like the other three Jackass movies, there is no plot. It's all a bunch of stunts, and it's another 90-minute, feels like another 90-minute episode. So yeah. Well, after 11 years, the Jackass crew is pretty much back with their final crusade. Their very last one. Yeah. So before we get into details, how was this all made? Well, in a 2018 all-press interview, Knoxville said that he would be willing to make a fourth Jackass film and would feature some new cast members. Mainly just to bring in some fresh blood into it. And he also wants to continue to write ideas for a Jackass film that a ton have been set aside should the project receive the green light. And around July 2019, former cast member Chris Robb said that he had interviewed the Jackass crew in his Bathroom Break podcast and noted that everyone was still open for a fourth film to be made should Knoxville, Tremaine, Jones agree. In the late 2019, Knoxville then had a meeting with Tremaine and dropped out a 200-page document full of concepts for a fourth film. And they agreed to film for 2 days with the entire cast just to see if it feels right to make a fourth. Yeah. And then Tremaine said in a September 2020 interview with the AV Club that after 5 minutes of filming, he was ready to commit to making a fourth film, and Steve-O was even surprised the film came to fruition. And another thing, in May 2021, Knoxville stated that Jackass Forever would be his final contribution to the Jackass franchise. Which does make sense because, well, he actually, believe it or not, guys, Knoxville had to be hospitalized so many times when filming this franchise, and he actually had to, and this was no exception here. He's even said in interviews his doctors have told him that his body can't take another hit, so it makes sense for this to be his last one. Or to be kind of most of people's last one. Which does, so yeah, in the end it does make sense, especially since the series has got them, almost the whole cast hospitalized numerous times, and this one was no exception either. Even Steve-O had the worst concussion of his life doing this film. So, in short, yeah, I think it's best this is the last one they do. But just doesn't feel the same without Bam Margera. I mean, I get he's a lawsuit, but it just doesn't feel the same with Bam gone from this one. So, but the movie came out this week, and on Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic, it has the best scores for the whole franchise. which is kind of a shock because I wasn't expecting this many good reviews for especially for a Jackass movie, but that was quite a surprise. So anyway, so guys, I saw the Thursday night preview of this film last night, and what did I think of it? It is my second favorite behind number two. I mean, sure, it's a released way too late sequel, but it still has the same funniness as 1, 2, and Bad Grandpa. And so far, for now, this might have to be my favorite film of 2022 for now until more stuff comes out. I don't think I've ever laughed this hard in a theater in so long. Thankfully, like, there were so many stunts that were than what is shown in the trailers. In fact, the whole entire theater was just laughing crazy throughout almost every single moment. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a movie this funny in a cinema in a very, very long time. In fact, I don't think I can even think of the last time I've laughed this hard in a theater. Like, but, I mean, there were some stunts I did like, and there were some stunts that I kind of squirmed at. But before I get into those, let's get on with the details of this review. Well, the introduction of the new Jackass cast leaves a lot to be desired, as most of their screen time and stunts on the weaker side, with the old cast members being awkward about overhyping the new cast members in a way that comes off as kind of unnatural and awkward. The guest appearances are all short-lived mild gags. There is a guest appearance from Eric Andre as well in one skit. That means what I really did like, I actually did like that there were actually some throwbacks to the other stuff. Like there was a throwback to some episodes, and they even threw back one of the stunts in number two. Well, probably the one stunt in number two I did not like. Unfortunately, they kind of throw back that how to milk a horse from number two. That was probably the one stunt from number two I did not like. They kind of repeated that with a different kind of animal in this one. But I don't want to talk about that because that's gross. And the other stunt I really kind of didn't really like was this. There's this bee stunt. There's another bee stunt. And this time Steve-O is the one. And yeah, he's all bare naked. And they put the bees on his thingy. So yeah, the bees pretty much, yeah, that was probably the worst stunt in the movie. But other than that, I kind of enjoyed most of the stunts. And being said that though, half the movie's runtime kind of feels like Aaron McGeehee being bullied by the team. A rolling theme has existed since the conception of Jackass. And this kind of falls among their Earth films. I have to say, yeah. So yeah, when this falls among their other films, it is like better than the third installment, Bad Grandpa and first one, but behind two, in terms of funniness. This movie had prolific nudity like we have never seen before from this series. There's always been full nudity here and there, but they really ramped it up a notch this time around. Yeah, the Jackass boys are aging, but they still have the balls attached bees to their, well, balls. It's a fun movie. I mean, laughing, yeah, had me looking away the whole scene, and it was the one stunt I really did not like. And also, when you go see this movie, guys, be sure to stick for the end credits, because the end credits, there is a tribute to, I won't say it, it's a bit of a spoiler, guys, but there is a bit of a tribute at the very end of the credits to Ryan Dunn at the end, which was very nice, since Ryan Dunn unfortunately died in 2011. It's kind of sad. And now my favorite skits of the movie. My favorite skits are probably the Dum Dum game. There's this one with a snake and a viper, and they're trapped in this dark room, and okay, and there's also, I also like this lie detector test, and a human surfboard are also very funny. Oh yeah, let's not forget they bring back the cup test, except they do it like 3 different times. First they do it with a tennis ball player, they do it with a hockey player, and they do it with a little boxing match. So yeah, there's 3 different takes on the whole cup test from that one episode in the series. So yeah, I liked how this movie actually throws back the whole, it's kind of like also a bit of a throwback to the series, and a throwback to what they did a few years ago, like with number 2 and stuff, for some of the other films. Yeah. And most of the clips, like little mini clips, are kind of a hit and miss. There are some good ones in the mix, but there are also some that probably shouldn't have been made in the final cut as well. And the opening sequence was also pretty hilarious. Like, there's this Godzilla styled opening credits sequence, and which is pretty funny. I won't say it because the opening sequence is a bit graphic, but the closing sequence I thought wasn't really that good. I mean, not as good as some of the other closing sequences of the other films, but the closing sequence is kind of just this little merry-go-round thing they're attached to while they're drinking milk, and a bunch of explosions start happening, and yeah, like that kind of felt a little bit too abrupt for me. So that would be kind of one of my bad qualities of the film, which was kind of the closing of the film, the bee stunt with Steve-O, that the throwing back how to milk a horse, except with a different kind of animal this time. But yeah, other than that, this is still my favorite second. This is still my second favorite Jackass movie. Jackass Forever is a culmination of a lot of hard work, and some jackasses goofing off. Well, I kind of wish Bam Margera didn't end up doing all those bad things and getting fired from production, but it still felt like the crew had fun with their last hurrah, and it was a good way to wrap up this whole Jackass career. And who knows, maybe some of these new stars can, if they ever continue it, maybe these new stars can kind of take over from here and be kind of the new recruits for Jackass if they ever keep going or something like that. Since the older crew has said this is going to be kind of their last hurrah, or if they still feel like making more, but I kind of hope they don't make more. I kind of hope they just leave it here. It's better they just leave it here for this one. But anyway, in the end, that's it for my review of Jackass Forever. So overall, if you are a Jackass fan, I strongly suggest you go see this, and then go buy it when it comes out on Blu-ray. And who knows, maybe I'll actually go see this again. Because if I had to pick between having to watch Marry Me next week or seeing this again, I'd pick seeing this again, personally, because I am not excited for Marry Me, guys. And if you are wondering how I'll rank Jackass Forever, here's how I'm going to rank it.
I am going to give Jackass Forever a 9.5 out of 10.
There we go. That wraps up my review for Jackass Forever. Well, in 2 weeks we have that Uncharted movie coming out, which looks pretty nice. As well, even though I've never played the games, but I think I might go review it, or see it and review it anyways, but that is also the same weekend of Fan Expo, so... And not to mention that weekend of Uncharted also has Texas Chainsaw Massacre coming out, the lame, crappy looking Netflix one, which I'm also not pumped for. Yeah, that reminds me, this weekend I plan to finish off reviewing the other 2 Texas Chainsaw movies, and then after I finish Texas Chainsaw movies, I can finally move on to the Batman movies I plan to review. But yeah, until then, that'll be it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and if you like this and want to see more, then don't forget to like, subscribe to Movie Lover 120.